So I made it to the range today with my 1975 Remington 760 Gamemaster 30-06. I picked this up probably about 2 weeks ago, and the reason I bought it is because of the nostalgia of the gun. I'll soon be 55 years old. So in the late 70s, when I started deer hunting, I had a Remington 742 30-06, and I killed many deer with it. And I've always admired the 760, and I sold the 742 more than 20 years ago because at the time I had to sell guns to buy guns, and I wish now I'd never gotten rid of it. But I'm pretty pleased when I found this Remington 760. It's a 75 model for $150, and it included a Redfield tracker scope from the same era. I have since removed that scope and put another Redfield tracker, only this one is a 3-9 by 40 millimeter on it, and it's also from the same era. And back then you used to see a lot of Bushnell Sport Views, and I even had one myself on the 742, and it didn't last long. It started to cloud up after a while back in the late 90s, and I just got rid of it. But the only reason to keep something like that is for tradition and nostalgia. So I've come to the range today and to sight this in because I plan to take this gun on a whitetail deer hunt back to the mountains, Blue Ridge Mountains of northwestern Virginia, where I grew up. And most of my shots would be well under 100 yards. So I'll be hunting the woods, the hardwoods in the mountains. There won't be any fields where I go to, so this gun is well suited for something like that. It's a 30-06. You can see I've got this on a lead sled. Someone has replaced the factory butt plate with a Packmeyer recoil pad, and the length of pull is just a little bit too long for me, especially with heavy clothes. You can see I have short muscular arms, and it'll just have to do because even though it's not stock, I do like the fact that it is a Packmeyer from the same era. It's got kind of a cool look to it. So, and but I can tell you, even on this lead sled, that it is going to do a job on me if I shoot it without. I haven't shot it today without the lead sled, but I can tell you that it is going to knock my arm off. When I was a kid shooting a teenager shooting a 742 30-06, it never occurred to me what the recoil was like. And of course the recoil on the 742 semi-automatic might have absorbed some of the recoil, but this thing is going to kill me. So anytime I come to the range, I'll probably use the lead sled, and I'll make sure I'll keep up with I don't put so much weight on it that it can't recoil, so I'm pretty sure my stock is safe. But today I had some disappointments and some highs. So the first disappointment was that this vintage Remington ammo that I used to use as a teenager when I first started hunting, the 180 core locked, shot terrible. I can't even, I used to, of course it may not have shot very good out of my 742, but I probably only shot it 50 yards, you know. But anyway, I killed many deer with it, but this absolutely does not shoot worth a darn. So in the same buy with this vintage ammo that I bought, I was fortunate enough to pick up a box of this. This is the Federal 165 grain boat tail soft point, and it's probably from the late 70s, early 80s, but this shot great. I got 1-inch groups at 50 yards. When I moved back to 100 yards, I also got 1-inch groups back at 100 yards with this particular ammo. So I can tell you right now that this ammo is going up for sale or trade, because I'm pretty sure that it won't even shoot in my bolt action. I might give it a try. I've got 10 more left, so I might give it a try in my bolt action, but I don't anticipate it's going to shoot out of it either. So I think the problem is that it is way too it's sending these bullets downrange way too fast, and none of the riflings on any of the guns I've tried, especially this one, it just can't stabilize the bullet, so it shoots all over the place. I had some shots today that I had no idea where they even hit at 100 yards, but with this particular ammo, I got a 1-inch group out of this 75 model gun. And so I'm pretty pleased with the fact that this shot so well. So this is probably, I only had to shoot this 8 times, and I shot 2 3-shot groups with it. And well, I shot 2 4-shot groups with it. I had 1 flyer on a cold bore, but this is probably what I'm going to take with me on my hunt this November to Virginia for whitetail. So if you're like me, the attraction to these guns includes just looking at them. And so let me walk you through this particular gun, let you get a good look at it. As I said before, it has got a Pachmayr recoil pad on it, professionally installed, and so I'm not so it looks pretty good. I'm not as upset over that as if it had been something else installed on it rather than a Pachmayr from the same era. It's got really good looking wood on it. The length of pole suits me just fine. It might be a little bit long with heavy clothes on, and we'll just have to see. It's got decent checkering still. The wood looks good, the fleur-de-lis. The cap has not been knocked off, so that's in good shape. And as I was talking about before, the scope is a Redfield tracker from the same period of time, and staying true to what's going on with the gun, I kept the Weaver rings. These are considered low, but they are not the extreme low that they don't make anymore, but it works great with the larger bell of this 40 millimeter. So great looking forend on it. I switched from when I got the gun, I had the full circle front sling adapter, but it was missing the screw that holds the 2 pieces together, and of course I'll never find one, so I had replaced it with a forend adapter, but upon reconsideration I decided to switch back to the barrel band, which is pretty popular with the people that are still shooting these guns. So I retained the factory sights, and while the front sight does show up in the scope, I'm still pretty pleased with just leaving them on there. Back in the 70s, oftentimes you'd see these guns with see-through scope mounts, and while that's not for me, I still enjoy seeing that on a gun anyway, but that just is not my thing. If I get a deer that close to me, crank it down to 3 power, I should be just fine. And with my aging eyesight, I can't see open sights anyway, so I have to have a scope because I just can't see well enough. So let me pull on around here to my target. This is the target I shot today while I shot lots and lots of different guns. This is the 50-yard group on the 165 grain Federal, and this is my 100-yard group on the 165 Ferrel. This particular shot here was my first shot out of a cold bore after I had put the gun away and shot my other guns, and I went right back to it. It was a cold bore. These were my last 3 shots out of the gun, so I'm pretty pleased. And hopefully I'll be posting a video of me with a whitetail buck I've killed this fall. Thanks for watching, and enjoy those 760s like I am.